Looking for a fun way to win 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/play100 and use code PLAY100. That's code PLAY100 at prizepicks.com/play100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Welcome to the Augusta Golf Show podcast. Now, here's John Patrick.
Rachel Kuehn is a senior at Wake Forest University. She is the 4th-ranked amateur in the world, 3rd-best player in the NCAA Division I standings, coming off a win here last weekend at the Valspar Augusta Invitational, and she will be back in town in a couple of weeks for the Augusta National Women's Amateur. Pleasure to welcome Rachel Kuehn back to the Augusta Golf Show. How are you, Rachel?
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm great. I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you. How much school you got left?
Lots of school. We are just after spring break, so we're about the midpoint of the semester. And I think we finish finals week is like the first week in May. So a couple months left, and trying to balance that and golf.
What's your major?
I am a business management major with a minor in communications.
Okay, all right. Why that? Why'd you choose that?
Well, I don't know. I just think business is so applicable to anything you do, and kind of provided me with a core curriculum. And then I ended up finding a lot of communications classes that I was really interested in and loved taking. And I also think it's just an incredibly useful skill. So it just made sense to major in business and then minor in comm.
Okay. Now that you're nearing the end of your Wake Forest experience, what's been the best thing about Wake?
Oh, there's so much that I absolutely love about Wake. I think probably the people I've met here have been absolutely incredible. I've been surrounded with people that have really become my second family. The support system that I'm offered is second to none, and there really is just a sense of community at Wake Forest, not only amongst my team and the student athletes, but just the whole school. The people in my classes are always so supportive of me in the classroom and on the golf course, and my professors are the same, and I've just been really lucky to make some incredible connections here. I
mean, I know there are family ties to Wake Forest, but were you looking for something, 7,000, 8,000 students as opposed to 20,000 students?
Yeah, it's actually a really funny story. When I was looking at Wake, I had kind of crossed it off the list because my parents went here, and I actually really wanted to kind of create my own identity and have my own experience rather than just kind of following in the footsteps of mom and dad. But I came for a visit and loved the facilities, loved what Wake had to offer, and I really just fell in love with the school and the program and committed here. And 4 years later, I think it's the best decision I've made in my life.
Who lost out on you? Where were you thinking about?
By the time I had committed to Wake, I was pretty much narrowed down to here, UVA, and Notre Dame.
Oh, you broke my heart with the Notre Dame thing. Heading into a busy schedule this time of the year. You got the NY, you got the ACC conference tournament, NCAAs. I know you won here over the weekend. It was kind of a truncated tournament. Tell me about your game. Tell me the condition of your game right now.
Yeah, we're actually we're through all of our regular season tournaments. So, like you said, I'm kind of getting ready for ANWA and postseason. But yeah, I mean, I think there's parts of my games that are starting to shape up. I'm obviously still working on my golf swing always with my swing instructor, who's his name's Ricky Sullivan out of Bulls Bay in Charleston. So we're continuing to work on that and to improve. And I have two incredible coaches here, Kim Llewellyn and Ryan Potter, who are always setting up drills and are being a resource for us to continue to improve. So yeah, still working on my ball striking and always working on my putting. And golf's kind of funny like that, isn't it? Where you never really satisfied with where you are. You're always trying to improve. So, definitely going to try to hone in everything because I know over the next couple months I'm going to be tested, and each part of my game is going to have to be in the top shape.
How'd you find Ricky?
Actually, through my older brother's friend who went down there when I was in middle school and recommended him to my older brother, and then I kind of tagged along and started working with Ricky when I was in 8th grade, and it was kind of the beginning of a relationship that I'm incredibly grateful for, and I know I wouldn't be the player I am or the person I am without him.
I don't want to ask specifics because most golfers don't tell the specifics, but in working with him, has anything radically changed, or you've just been refining what you brought to the table?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the beginning it was a lot of more fundamental changes. He has a really unique teaching style where he really does like to kind of maximize on your athletic ability that you like you said, you bring to the table. But I think a lot of the fundamental changes were made kind of when we first started working together, and now just like every golfer, I have my tendencies, and I will always go back to my tendencies. So we're always trying to figure out ways to neutralize those. And I'm thankful that I have someone that's always going to be honest with me and give me really honest feedback, whether it's positive or negative, and just kind of continues to put his faith in me as I trust him as well. Okay,
so now I'm curious about the process. I know you don't want too many swing thoughts. You just want to play the game. But when you fall back to an old tendency, do you immediately realize you've done it?
Absolutely. Ricky, he's taught me one of the things that I'm most appreciative of is teaching me to understand what's going on in my golf swing based off my ball flight. So I can see a golf shot and know exactly what happened in my golf swing to produce that. So for me, when I get a couple, my miss tends to be left. So when I start getting a couple going left, I know exactly what I've done, and I have feelings and thoughts that can combat that on the golf course. He's given me the ability to be self-reliant, especially in tournaments, to not have to always go running with a video here or there, but to kind of manage my golf game and whatever I have that day.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/get100 and use code GET100. That's code GET100 at prizepicks.com/get100 for a first deposit matchup to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
We're talking with Rachel Kuehn here on the Augusta Golf Show. You have accomplished an awful lot. ACC Player of the Year, North and South winner, clinching the points in 2 Curtis Cup competitions. And as I mentioned in the beginning, you're kind of nearing the end of your college career in this phase. I don't know how much you look back. Maybe you never look back. But if you looked back, what do you, so far, to date, with more to come, what would you be most proud of?
I don't know. I've just been so lucky to have such an incredible experience over the past couple of years. Winning ACCs last year with my team was incredible. Just having that moment on the 18th green was just so special. I think it's hard to top my 2 Curtis Cup experiences. I was very lucky to have incredible teams both times and got to play one on international soil and one on home soil. And those were really special. I've loved my Palmer Cups. I don't know if I can pick one thing, but I feel so fortunate to have had the opportunities that I've had. And I'm going to stay one more year at Wake Forest, so I'm hoping to make a couple more memories. But I've loved every minute of the opportunities I've had over the past 3.5 years.
Do you have a year of eligibility left?
I do. I have my COVID year left.
Oh, okay. All right. So what are the summertime plans?
So summertime, hopefully I'll play in Palmer Cup, U.S. Amateur, maybe the British Amateur. I'll play an Open qualifier, so keeping my fingers crossed that I'll get the chance to play my first U.S. Open. but really it's, working on your game and getting ready for the fall season.
What's the best in your mind? Best place you've played is where? And let me preface it by saying this. Please don't burst my bubble about Marion. I've never been to Marion, but it looks spectacular.
It is hands down Marion.
Really?
I'm very, very lucky to play so many top golf courses. But there's just something about Marion that's so special and so unique, and just it really feels like traditional golf course that you don't get it anywhere else.
What's the hardest course you've played?
There's a couple up there. This spring we played Albany over in the Bahamas. That was very difficult. Champions Retreat is hard. There's a lot that have kicked my butt.
Champions Retreat, by the way, is where they play the first 2 rounds of the ANWA, for folks who may not be familiar. I know you haven't played Augusta National a lot, but do you feel like you're beginning to get a feel for the place and what's required?
Yeah, I think, I grew up watching the Masters every year, so it was a transition for me from what I had seen on the TV to those first couple times that I got to play it. I don't think it's a place that you ever really figure out, right? There's just so many subtleties in the greens and intricate parts of the holes, but I have an incredible caddy that's helped me manage it, and I just think overall for both Champions Retreat and Augusta National, you have to be firing on all cylinders. Your driving has to be nice. You have to have control over your irons. You have to be putting it nicely, getting it up and down from places. So it's not one of those golf courses that I think you get a break. You really you have to maintain your concentration, and you just have to take good golf shots.
How hard is the work you put into the Friday before? Is that an honest to goodness practice round where you're grinding about the golf course?
Absolutely. It's an interesting balance because obviously you're at one of the most historic and iconic golf venues. So to appreciate that and to soak in the moment is, there's value in that, but there's also value in, like we just talked about, learning the golf course and trying to understand, exactly what's going to be required on Saturday.
Well, it was great to see you last weekend. Congratulations on that victory. I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks when you're back for the ANWA. Rachel, you're always very gracious to say yes when I ask you to do this. Thank you for doing this.
No, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it, and it was great to see you last weekend too.